What's happening, fishing friend? Welcome to another episode. Today we've got a fun unboxing of a few different things. Re-upped on some stuff. Subscribers sent in some awesome stuff. We got a whole bunch of things. Let's not waste any time. Let's start with this one. So this is from a longtime subscriber, Ron. Now I'm not going to read his whole message. I don't know if he wants people to know, all that. But looking forward to seeing you either fish this or review it, because he and I did a little trade. You can see here, this is one of Lou's newest spinning reels. Now, for a while, I bought one of the $100 Lou's spinning reels years ago, and I wasn't a fan of it. It was gritty, wasn't too smooth, and I can tell you, first thing picking this up, night and day difference from that one. Now, I think this is like $140 spinning reel, if I remember correctly. Cool thing was, he won this from a Lou's giveaway and was like, hey, want to sell this? Do you know any places that would buy it? Can I put this up? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, there's some places that would buy used stuff, maybe eBay. I'm like, I don't know who would give you, a ton. You'd probably have to kind of reach out on people on Instagram and stuff. He's like, well, are you interested in buying that? I'd like you to have it. So it's a signed KVD box, which is freaking sweet. That's going to go back here somewhere. That's awesome. KVD, obviously the goat of the bass fishing game. But the reel I'm going to use, this is a 200 or 2000 size, depending on the company. That kind of smaller size. Usually I use a 3000. To me, it just feels a little bit more comfortable, but this will be a perfect little finesse reel. And you can see it's the shallow spool Lou's. Custom Light SS is the shallow spool. So this will be a fun one to try out. I'm pretty much only Shimano and Daiwa spinning reels. I think for the money, that 50 to 100 bucks, if you just watched my last video, I think at that price, they're absolutely knocking it out of the ballpark. So having a little bit higher price Lou's to try it, I think will be fun. It does feel darn good in hand. We'll have to see how it does on the water. So Ron, can't thank you enough for giving me the opportunity to do this. He might comment below. I made a trade with him, sent him one of my reels and some custom painted stuff. But I appreciate the heck out of him, longtime subscriber. Now, before I get to the other subscriber stuff, let's just go through this real quick. I got some new lures. We'll start with these. These are the Smithwick Suspending Pro Rogues. Got these over at LureNet. Again, I'll leave my links below. I do have a 15% off over at LureNet, Debos 15. Anything you buy over there, cranks, custom colors, these, doesn't matter. It works on anything. So save some money, and I get a little kickback, so I appreciate anybody that uses that. But this is a little bit larger size of jerkbait. So if you're in that water where you're either looking for a bigger bite or it's a little bit stained, I've noticed, going up to a little bit larger profile that causes more water disturbance can really help. Now the Rogues, everybody likes the action. Those old Rogues are sought after. It gives it that kind of rolling action to it. I didn't throw Rogues a ton. Just got into it more the last couple years, but this color, purple into the chartreuse, it's got that glitter back. I was going to say, this looks like a Northern Lights pattern. That's what it is, Northern Lights. These are a 0 to 6 foot diver, 5.5 inches, weighing in at 1/2 ounce. So these could also be for your toothy critters, pike if you want something like that. I think these look dang good. So a little bit larger profile will be interesting to try, because usually I'm around that 100, 110 millimeter size, or downsize to like the 90. So throwing something like this, maybe in stained water, especially with bright colors, see how it does. Also picked up a couple other colors. That cream, I like that bone color. I'm glad that LureNet and the companies that they do more of the bone stuff, because I feel like, a lot of people do the Topwater, but having spinnerbait, some of these other cranks and stuff in that color is cool. This is the oil blue. So you can see it's got that highlight, looks like an oil spill on it, that kind of iridescence on the sides. Translucent with that kind of slickness to it. Blue back with purple way up on the top of the shoulders. I like that. And then the blue violet color. This is like your shad imitator. Around here we've got those grayish, gizzard shad with that dark back. Perfect to imitate those. So I'm going to need to give these a go in the spring and maybe see if a little bit larger jerkbait can call in some fish. Let's just stay with the box that was in here. Omnia had a sale on missile baits. I love missile bait stuff. Been a fan of them for a long time. This one, somebody posted it. I couldn't tell you who. It was on Instagram. Wish I could remember. But they said something about this color, got them on sale. So I hit up Omnia. The sale's over now, unfortunately. But it was 25% off missile baits. And then if you bought 3 bags of plastics, you got one free. And those sales stacked. So this was the first one I had to get. Somebody shared this color, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. I didn't know this even existed in the missile baits D-bomb. If you're new to throwing the D-bomb, they've got these really thin appendages back here, and you would think, well, that's not going to do anything. They have a great wave to them. When it hits the bottom, they kind of give this like undulation, almost like a dolphin tail or whale tail, that kind of action to it. It's not as stiff as something like a Reaction Innovations beaver, right? That's more of a stiff plastic. It has a different look to it. Very, very good flipping bait. It's got the ribbed top section. And this, I don't know how long they've been doing this. Can we get that to focus? The head is solid there. So where your EWG hook goes in on either side, it's got like a solid tab there. That's new because they never used to have that. So I don't know when that was done. But this color is called Bayou Flash. And if you know me, purple around here, dark colors, black and purple are perfect. This is like if I could pick a signature color, this would be it. So I'm going to urge you all, if you like black and purple, pick up some of these. Didn't know this color existed, and dang, that is good. I also re-upped on some of their missile bait Spunk Shad collab. Probably one of my top 2 favorite chatterbait trailers right now. They have such a good action to them. You know, it's like the fluke of the old days that I used to throw all the time, but problem with the fluke is you have to cut it down. I don't like a full-size 5-inch fluke. And these, they have a solid head. So it fits better on the chatterbait, and I like the 3.5 inch, the 3.5 inch size for my chatterbaits. Now I also got some of these. I want to get more into the minnow shaking, right? That whole craze has been going on. People hate it. I don't have forward-facing sonar, but I still want to try it. It's an intriguing kind of technique. This rolling, you know, you're taking your spinning rod and bouncing it, and you're making this thing do this side-to-side kind of shimmy swim through it. So someone want to try this year just to see. Again, I don't have forward-facing sonar, so I'm not going to be like targeting fish, doing it above them. More kind of doing it blindly on some points, around cover and stuff, just to give it a try. If this doesn't work, the other thing that this is suited for is, yes, an underspin. If you want to give a good-looking finesse profile to an underspin, go with a straight tail, something like this. If you've never tried it, it's absolutely deadly. So if they don't work for the whole shaking thing, they're just going to be underspins because they're perfect for that. Re-upped on some of the mini D chunks, the Super Bug, and then also the Bruiser black and blue. They were out of the June Bug, dang it, and I like that color. But these have been great for a while because I use them as a jig trailer, and I happened to pick up some of these. I've never tried these. I've heard of these, just never got around to picking any up and trying it. And I got them. Obviously, they were 25% off, but they had the 1/4 ounce. I guess I didn't realize these went smaller. Hold on. I wanted to rig this up. So with this little Ike's Mini Flip missile baits, 1/4 ounce, if you take one of those mini D chunks and put it on there, and that's what I've used these for, is jig trailers. You don't have to trim it or anything. Fits perfect as a jig trailer. On a little 1/4 ounce like that, look at this thing. That Super Bug color is so good. Green pumpkin on one side, black and blue on the other. Just a tasty, tasty little morsel. I always kind of take my weed guard, split it in the middle, kind of a V. That helps when this rolls over on its side and goes over things. That's where you're really getting snagged up. So taking this is just kind of fanning this out so your weed guard is a little bit more like that, so it covers the hook. Kind of a fan like this instead of all being, you know, stuck together in the weed guard. Fanning it out like that, and that helps me avoid snags. But this little head, perfect for bouncing around rock. With that vertical line tie, you can see this coming up and over wood pretty easy. You could swim it. So yeah, cool little jig. Never ever tried it. Comment below if this is one that you've used. I like the finesse games. Obviously got to tip my hat to old Randizzle getting me on that finesse jig deal. But yeah, love that trailer. And then lastly, also re-upped on some of the magic worms. Great trick worm style. They collaborated with Robo Worm on this. This June Bug color is absolutely awesome. If you like a purple worm, the gooseberry in the zoom has been amazing for me. But this June Bug Dream, it's like that deep purple with like a green iridescence to it. Grabbed a couple more of those. Love that color. And this is a newer one for clearer water, trying to imitate bait fish. I think this came out last year or maybe the year before. I don't remember, but it's the Bleeding Shad color. The cool thing about the RoboWorm stuff, when they hand pour these or machine, you know, assist, however it's done now, they do them in layers. So you can see here how the back of this, I don't know how well this is going to show on camera, the back down by my thumb is all clear. Then as it goes up to the belly here, there's that pink kind of bleeding line and then that darker belly. So jumping this around like that, wacky rigging it, or throwing it on a shaky head, both ways have been deadly. It's a really, really cool looking little lure. So I thought for clear water, that's just a really natural look to it. It's also got like that green glitter sprinkle highlight through it as well. So neat color, wanted to try it. Next up, something super cool. I missed this on the last subscriber unboxing. I'm not gonna read all this, but my favorite plane, I've always been super interested in military. My old man got me into that. The A-10 Warthog, for sure, hands down, has been my favorite plane. Says the flyover for tomorrow's Hawkeye game is my favorite plane ever. That's me from Instagram. Somebody took a picture of this. I don't know who puts this kind of work into stuff. My subscribed feeshin friends. That's why you're friends. I'm gonna read parts of this here. This is from my guy Garrett McCoy. Garrett, dude, thank you so much. Took, you know, the time to write all this out. Said he's been a subscribed feeshin friend for a while, learned a lot. He said he was inspired by one of my recent posts, which I showed you. You mentioned the A10's your favorite plane ever, and I had the privilege of flying the A10 from 1999 to 2003. He said, I thought you could use a spent shell casing. It's clean, he said, yes, so it's not a live casing, but said, thought you could use this for your lives. Listen, dude, this isn't going for a giveaway. This is staying right here on my wall of memorabilia. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep watching. My brother, he said, my handwriting sucks. I don't care about your handwriting, dude. People that take the time to think of this and do this stuff. So this is a spent actual Gao 30mm shell casing. So the reason the A10 is so cool is because if you hear stories from our men and women in service, hat tip to all them, huge support for folks that do that. They've got all my support. But the sound you hear is that, right? Out there saving people, helping people with this anti-tank, anti-personnel. But look at this. Debo crushing hogs and dinks. Come on, man. But yeah, it's got the certificate of authenticity here. It's the actual 30mm Gao. Aluminum shell casing is authentic, fired by and procured from the U.S. military. So it's a replica. This thing is sick. I suppose you could use it as a shot glass or something, but this is going up on my wall. My brother, thank you so much. And thank you to all the brothers and sisters in Air Force, Navy, Army. Doesn't matter where you're at in the forces. Appreciate the hell out of all you. Okay, next up, we've got a little package from Gary, Hook Life. Now, I thought I had been bad for Christmas. He sent me a bag of coal. I'd like that. I'm glad it wasn't coal. This was much cooler. He's making some of his own jigs and sent over to me. Now you can see he knows the colors that old Debo likes. Black and purple. He's got some Flashaboo in it. He's wire tying his. Great looking little finesse head there. My dude, you are doing it right. That thing looks awesome. And then if you look at this, green pumpkin with some black and blue on it, that would fit perfectly on those Superbug trailers, that little dude. And I like how it's the finesse tie. I'm a big fan of that, of not going super bulky on some of these. This one, he just collared it up. He wire tied underneath it. So that's a cool thing you can do is if you've already got some jigs that have these, or if you have skirts, you can take the skirt and slip it up on there, and then it's hard to see here, but right above it, he wire tied it. That way, even if this band gets old, so instead of cutting the band off, trying to tie it, even if this band gets old and corrodes and fall off, he's got it wire tied underneath there. So it's just an extra step to help hold this on, which is great. That's your bluegill color, and that Flashaboo, just giving that little bit of flash, adds a little something extra. Dude, killed it. Those look absolutely scrumptious. We've got a box from my man Malone. Now, first off, congratulations to him. It's a boy. They recently had a kiddo. He's going to have a new fishing friend to follow him around, Malone. Congrats to you and the wifey. He sent me a little care package here. Hold on. This is for sure the coolest out of him. He makes some of his own baits, which is awesome. Travis Matthews, Big Malone Custom Baits on YouTube. Give him a follow. Good guy. He's always in my lives. If you're looking for jigs or spinner baits, also hit him up. He's making some neat stuff. This is a 3-bladed. It's got the Indiana blade on back. Then it's got some smaller Indiana blades with almost like a perch fire tiger look to it. So he's hand doing all these. You can see he put the circle in there like they used to do on the man spinner baits. So then your line can't go anywhere. It stays there. But he's got that kind of cool perchish, almost kind of reminds you of a fire tiger look to it. Small hook, good and sharp. Very cool. I'm probably going to cut that down a little bit. I like when they have the two-tone skirts like that. Cut this down a little bit, and I bet that will go perfect for spring. If you're not throwing a bluegill color around for spring, you're missing out. Sent me some old Havoc plastics. These are like the Pit Boss. That's called their wide load. Had some of these, never had a ton of luck on them, but pretty cool. You can always cut these down and use them as a trailer as well. Threw in some 1/16 ounce weedless crappie head jigs. Those will be perfect for BFS. And so will this Yozuri Agile Goby. Never seen or heard of this thing. Little treble hook bait with like a little tail spinner. It's like a little miniature BFS crankbait. That thing's cool. That'll be fun to throw on the old BFS combo. Threw in some of his stickers again. Old Big Malone. And threw in some cool, I used to throw these all the time, man. Rock Creek Bait Company. Handcrafted in the middle of nowhere. I like that. But the furry, marabou, flashy, feathery type crappie jigs. I used to have a bunch of these. I had like an all tinsel one. It was like this gaudy, reflective, tinsely stuff. I don't know who made it, but that thing used to catch the snot out of them. But these look great. Little natural color. Woolly boogers, is that what they used to call these? I don't know. You had to watch in your tackle box because if you put them too close to plastics, they would gum up. Oh, this is cool. Look at that. Super finesse little fly spider looking thing with like some deer hair. Natural golden brown with hair and the woolly stuff. and a couple brighter ones, good for the old crappie. Look at that, those feathery, hairy deals. Once those get in the water, man, they just undulate and puff. And then the last one we have up here, this is kind of a goodie bag. This is from Barry. Bear Goes Fishing. Wanted to send you some stuff, he said. Happy belated birthday, so I've had this for a while. Wanted to send you some things. He kind of talked about what some of the things are in here. Currently caught a bunch of bass on the Mag Draft swim baits. But he said, most importantly, I want to see you catch one on that frog. Now, I'm excited for some of the stuff in here because some of these I've not thrown. First up, speaking of jigs, from Beast Coast. This is the Working Man swim jig. I've been meaning to pick some of these up, never have. But the reason I like these is because of the big eye. I am a huge, huge fan of having a large eye on your jigs, swim jigs, that kind of stuff. I really think the big eye just gives them that focus. You know, a lot of the bait fish, or when, you know, some of those bigger fish kind of get skinny, and man, that eye is just so big and pronounced. So good looking color there, that bluegillish with the, you know, the flashaboo in it. That one looks neat. Sent me a couple of those, some spark shads. These are the one he said that has caught him tons and tons of fish, and I believe it because I have also thrown these. I think it was that color I was throwing up in Michigan. Caught a bunch on that day, but he got me that blue color USA albino. Hiu, which is the one I would call albino, like the white color, very good. And then, of course, some old purple haze for Debo. Love me some purple. It's a reoccurring theme. It's like the people that watch me know I like a little bit of purple. Man's Baby 1-, probably one of the best, if not the best, super shallow cranks. It's got that good wobbling action. You can see there how the line tie is up here on the nose, and the bill is actually down under the bait to give it that action. So good hunting action to it. Really cool if you've never tried these in shallow ponds that have, you know, grass, or you just can't throw, you know, like a 5 or 6 foot diver. Give those a go. I guarantee you will appreciate it. Ooh, some other goodies in here. The Daraspin. Jackal Daraspin. I like that. I've got, was it the Dara Break or whatever the chatterbait was from Jackal? I wish I would have purchased more of those. Now you can't find them anywhere, but that little micro chatterbait that I was throwing up in Michigan. So much fun on the BFS stuff. This is a little 1/4 ounce, kind of the higher end of BFS to me, but this will still be fun on it. Throw it on a little, you know, medium casting rod. That's perfect. Little finesse spinnerbait. From 6 cents. I don't know that I've seen these. What is this? Oh, these are the Divine. I didn't know they made the Divine this small. What size is that? 2.5 inch it looks like if I'm measuring in Debo fingers. That looks pretty tasty. Again, kind of a BFS. Slim down. It's got that purple kind of see-through color. That's neat. Slim down little underspin. He knows I like the poppers. I don't know. Is that a Strike King? I don't know off the top of my head which one that is. Sent me a little popper there. I do love the popper. That was the bait of the year 2024. Oh, dude. Talk about one of the best forgotten baits. I actually just picked up another one of these because I've only got, I think, a couple left. This is the Rapala Skitter Pop. If you've never used these, this was the very first lure I ever had my first solo double on. It was like the blue chrome black back, or I'm sorry, chrome blue back color. I forget what color this is, but a great color. You know, your bait fish with the blue back black to it. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, it's a walking bait, but it's got this little plastic lip on it, so it pops. You can, you know, work it slow and it gives a real finesse. Plop, plop, plop. Or you can walk it and it kind of gives a splash. Forgotten about, it's a balsa bait, super light, very effective. I used to throw these all the time and they flat out work. I just got one of the foil, like the silver blackback foil ones, I think. So this is pretty similar, but sent me a couple of those, dude. I appreciate it. People have forgotten about these. There's also the Rapala Skitter Prop. So on the back of it, it's got like a little tailspin deal. So you jerk it and it gives the little kind of like a finesse whopper plopper, I guess you'd say. Now this is the frog. He laughs and says, I really want to see you catch something on this. My friend, I don't even know how I would fish this. Oh, I think it's supposed to have a metal, or is that to make it weedless? I don't even know what in the heck this contraption is or where you found this. It's falling apart in back. No, this is going to have to go on the wall of relics behind me. I've got my old baits over here. Look at that. Talk about old school frog with the little hook pointing down there. The stories. I wonder who threw this and first got addicted to frog fishing back in. Who knows how old this is? It feels like it's wood. I don't know. That's cool as heck though. All right, fishing friends, do me a favor. Comment below, out of all these, which do you want to see me fish first or catch some fish on? I'm excited for all of them. All of you that sent stuff in, you're the subscribed fishing friends of the day. I appreciate the heck out of y'all. People, you know, willing to trade me for a KVD signed box. People thinking of me enough to send lures, to custom engrave stuff and send to me. Y'all are too dang awesome. This is why you're called Feeshin' Friends, not just subscribers. People on YouTube and, you know, any of these influencers or whatever need to remember that they would not be here if it wasn't for everyone watching. So that's why I appreciate the heck out of you all. You all keep me happy in doing this. I couldn't do it without you. So that's it for me today. I need to edit. Love y'all. Thanks for watching, and until next time.